Hello and welcome. This is the astrology and energetic forecast for September 24th through September 30th of 2023. And happy equinox to you. How have you been feeling this week as we've made this transition from the end of summer into this very, very beginning, the cusp of fall? You probably noticed I'm even in a little bit of a cozier sweater myself. The weather here in Washington changed so much in the last week, where the sun was still out, but that breeze, that cool breeze, chillier mornings, chillier evenings. I even have my little space heater on in the house now. For the first time, we turned it on this week. So we are beginning this transition, and this also marks with the equinox, it is the beginning of Libra season. So as I record this video, the sun is actually sitting in this moment at 0 degrees of Libra. And Libra is the sign in its wisdom of balance, of equilibrium, of harmony. And so those are the energies that are accessible and available to us at this time. And I don't know about you, but for me, there have been very many opportunities in the last week here as we make this transition into Libra season and into fall season to really feel I was honestly referring to it this week as the ick. Like, there is definitely a feeling here, and for me, I am super connecting it into there being some grief around summer and the sun starting to wane, starting to shorten its time that's in the sky here in the northern hemisphere. And with this this same week that the sun goes into Libra and we begin Libra season and we begin fall, we also are going to have a full moon that's coming up this Friday. And under the light of this full moon, it's actually when the moon and the sun, with a full moon, they're in opposition. So if the sun is in Libra, the moon will be in the opposite sign, which is Aries. So we are going to have an Aries full moon. And I, this morning, was just sitting with this energy and really letting myself feel like, okay, where inside of me wants to kind of balance some of these Libra, Aries energies. Libra is really good at falling into a lot of shadow of people pleasing, of walking into a room and not knowing where the borders of my skin end and where do you begin. But what's beautiful about working with polarity is when we feel like we're kind of in that state and we're almost in like overgiving, overserving, it's kind of becoming about everybody else, we really can just like feel like on the pendulum of this, there needs to be more of that Aries balance. And so what I'm really just so aware of as I'm sitting with this today is the gift to, right in the same week that the sun enters into Libra, we also get this full moon in Aries to help us really see the places where inside of us we are getting opportunity to come into more of a balance in this energy. So I really want to present some of the Aries, because that is where we will, when we're overly Libra, especially with that South Node in Libra right now, it's bringing up so much of this old energy of overgiving, overserving, shape-shifting to please everybody else and making sure that everybody else in the room is okay before I can or can be okay. Aries helps us kind of shift the paradigm here. Okay, Aries is where Libra is air. Aries is fire. And it is that fire that is the spark of all creation. It is filled with inspiration, and it is this really warrior sort of energy. And a lot of times I think, especially like for people with a lot of Libra, even the word warrior can feel kind of like, ugh, we don't need any more war. And of course, like, we don't need more of that like toxic war, conquering, overly masculine energy. No, but I'm talking about a different kind of warrior. What happens when we know at our core who I am, what I'm here creating, and this is like anchored into the center of my being. It's like what keeps me solid. It's what keeps me centered. Then it's like we can pull in some of this warrior energy, and it is like a rebel with a cause. It's like we're actually moving towards something. We're investing our charisma, our passion, this warrior mentality, not to overload or manipulate somebody else, but to stand in this power, in this truth, and say, this is who I am. And Aries is just the most beautiful sign, in my opinion, to connect with that. Like, I am. It is the ram. It is strong. It's courageous. So for these moments maybe that start to build, especially because full moons can start to bring a bit of conflict, a bit of tension. It's just anything that needs to be released. This is so much why I'm passionate about working with the moon and its cycles, because the moon every single month is renewing, seeding something new, coming to fullness, releasing, and then starting the cycle all over each month. So this is even more activated right now, because in the living sky, in the current sky, the nodes of the moon are on this axis of Aries. South node is in Aries, north node is in Libra. So, opposite. South node is in Libra, north node is in Aries. And so what this is doing is that north node, it's pulling these pieces of us that have been trapped in old patterns, old paradigms of relationship, where we feel like we're kind of repeating the same cycle. And it's presenting us this new opportunity to say, hey, honor all of these patterns that have been so deeply seated in our bodies, that stem honestly from the past, that stem from childhood and beyond, right? So much compassion for these pieces that had kept us alive, truly. And what is this north node inviting us into with more of this like warrior courage, where it's time to take a stand? And I was really feeling this very clearly in this way this morning. It was like taking a stand for self. So much reclamation around the energy of like the I am space. So I will ask you, what lights you up? What do you want to be pursuing right now? What do you want to be investing your time and your energy and your devotion and dedication to in this season? I've been really dancing with this little phrase mantra that I feel like reflects this Aries energy so beautifully. And it is this: what is best for me is best for everyone around me. What is best for me is best for everyone around me. Because when I am so in tune with my needs and my desires And I'm coming from a place first of filling my cup and loving myself. That sends a ripple out to your community, to your family, to all of your partnerships, to your clients, to your coworkers. It's an invitation for everybody to do this. And this is where we start to be able to release patterns of codependency, of needing this person to be okay so that I can be okay. No, it's because like I am, first and foremost, rooted and grounded in love. I know myself. That is an ancient teaching. Know thyself. And with the clarity of self-awareness and self-knowing, then I can actually take action that is for my deepest, widest, and highest good, which is then for your deepest, widest, and highest good too. And can you feel that this is when we start to actually be moving in what we came here to be, what we came here to do? And I find myself saying those words a lot, and I don't even necessarily mean you have a physical 3D answer right now of what that is. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's what you're searching for. But so much of working with this Aries and Libra is just going to continue to crystallize and clarify within your being your whys, your desires. And then utilizing this Aries courage with this full moon this week, and then letting this North Node just guide. It's still going to be here for over a year. Letting it guide you into courage and strength and this warrior ability. It's like a warrior of the heart. It's like a warrior for love. It's a warrior for truth. What a cause. Another like quote, almost mantra, it's just a bit longer, that's really been sitting with me and stewing in my being this week is this. It's this quote that I feel on Libra energy a lot, and I'm a Libra rising, so this energy is innately within me through and through my fascia and my DNA. It's just like, it's totally with me in my day-to-day. And this quote has been a lifeline for me in navigating how to stay in my body, how to stay in my center and move through the world from this place of I am Aaron, first and foremost. And the quote was like this: your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. And with that self-awareness, we are empowered. But there is still courage required to move through some of the conflict that is inevitably going to rise up as we are repatterning. But I think it's just so important to remember in those moments when the conflict is rising, when the ick and the just like, I don't want to have to do this is there. It doesn't mean that you're going backwards or that you're not making progress. These are beautiful signs that you are in alignment and what's rising up is for you. And it may not feel very pleasant, but that does not mean that it isn't for your deepest, widest, and highest good. And then it's just a dance with this. I think another little medicine that's dropping in as I'm speaking here is, honestly, I've been playing with this a lot. It's the giggle medicine. It's this idea of like, stop taking yourself so seriously. Stop even taking life so seriously. Like, yes, there are things I'm sure that are stressing you out or making you want to just like, but what happens when we just kind of shake it out, take a deep breath, get an eagle eye perspective on the situation, invite some grace to rain down upon you, and maybe reframe some of these stories that feel like it'd be easy to claim the victim mentality, when really you are having opportunity to be empowered to take action, Aries. I pulled some cards for this week, and I love them so much. So they came in a sequence here, in a little series. The first one that came was actually the Empress, and I loved this because to me it was instantly this invitation. Oh, look at her, isn't she beautiful? She's got her ear to the full moon. And can you see the glitter of the full moon is going down into her body? For her, it's swirling around her womb. If you're male-bodied or resonate more with masculine, that moon energy just moving around your hara. But that lower body, really letting the light descend all the way down and in to illuminate what's deep inside. Maybe things that are trapped in the subconscious, the unconscious, or the shadow. And then, that's kind of like what felt like the overarching energy, is just like soften and turn your ear to the moon and receive it all the way down. And then the Three of Wands showed up. Look at her. Is this not just a beautiful reflection of Aries energy? She is standing on the ocean. The ocean is this reddish pink. I love that. She's got these flames around her. She is about to start this new journey. This journey of knowing herself deeper than ever before. And not just knowing herself and having beautiful insights that are more internal, but a know thyself that then extends and shines out so that she is seen by those around her for who she really is. Passionate, charismatic, creative. The next one that came is the Magician, and I have been feeling this card like multiple times through the week, especially this image. So I had massive giggle medicine this morning when it came out for this for the forecast, because I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense to me. I'm feeling so much energy on this Magician card. This is the alchemist. This is the being who's using all of the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and infusing them with his or her own presence, own being, and then releasing that. The Magician for me is this energy of a wisdom that helps you be able to know like the precise amount of each element that you need to alchemize whatever it is that you're doing. So all of us are going to fall in a different place on this pendulum of Aries and Libra. Do you need more fire? Do you fall more into the people pleasing and need to be able to stand in your truth and declare, this is what I'm standing for? Do you need more of that courage? Do you need that fire? Or do you fall more on the other side, where a lot of times you're quick to speak? It's a little bit rash and harsh. You move with a lot of force most of the time. Sometimes you can bulldoze people right over and not use deep listening. Some of these, like the wisdom of Libra, be deep listening. There is an energy with Libra that knows how to keep the peace, that is not to be fully demonized by any means at all. Because when Libra knows who they are and they're standing in that power, and then from that space, that warrior space, using that to alchemize and create more peace, more cohesion, more harmony with whatever situation or scenario, where do you fall? Finding that alchemical balance inside of you. Which elements do you need more of? Which do you need less of? And then I think this part is really, really important, especially after coming out of Virgo season. Mercury still being in Virgo now. And Virgo knowing like it needs to take actual steps towards its goal. It can't just have all of these good ideas and think, okay, well there, it is manifested and so it is. Like, no. There is baby steps. There is action steps required. And sometimes that looks like neutral trust, and that is the action you're taking. I'm not saying that either. But just like following the knowing, the intuitive niggles inside that tell you you need to make this change, and then just actually following through with it. What's beautiful about this too is like you will see results. It's not like you don't make change and then it's just like, okay, like nothing's happening. Like that is a distorted truth. When you are consciously intending and making change, even if it looks different outside of you than you thought it would by doing this thing, I want to invite again this energy of softness into that scenario and that eagle eye perspective into that scenario, because a lot of times the beauty, the magic, the miracle is hidden in plain sight. It is right there before your eyes. And you just need to kind of shift your visual perspective. The last card that came through was the Two of Cups, and it actually came reversed. So you'll see in this, I love this image so much. These two beings are holding hands, and the love like between them is pouring these rainbow colors into these two bowls, these two cups. Cups are the suit of emotion, feeling, sensation. And the Two of Cups, when it's upright, is a lot about partnership. It's a lot about feeling like you're merging with somebody and you're kind of creating something within your own emotionals and your emotions, your feelings. It can be really fluttery, maybe a little bit romantic even. But this came reversed, which to me does not symbolize it being the opposite of what I just said. But more than that, feeling like it's actually an invitation for us this week to really choose self first, to really get clear. I am me. You are you. This is the border of my skin. This is the border of yours. I can be self-contained. I can self-sustain. I don't need you to fix me, to be okay so that I'm okay. It's like I know how to find center within. I really think that is the call this week. With that same mantra that I said a little bit ago, what's best for me is best for everyone around me. Play with this week. It's going to feel uncomfortable, especially if you've been rooted in more cycles of codependency, people pleasing, wanting to make sure everybody else is okay first. This is a stretch. And what do we know about tension? What do we know about when we're being stretched? We're growing. We're evolving. We're not staying stagnant. I'm even in this moment thinking of like when you were like going through like in childhood, literally growing. Like there were literal growing pains at times as like your legs are getting longer. Your arms are getting longer. Your organs are like getting developed even more to be like what they are to be for the longevity of your life. It's not pain-free. This is funny too because this is dropping in right now, but again, it's like so much of our society and culture is chasing this idea, and it can look a myriad of ways, but wanting to ultimately be pain-free. How can I numb it? How can I not deal with it? How can I stuff it? How can I just like get rid of it? I need an easy fix to just and it's like an instant gratification, sort of like I can't do it, so let's escape. And we all escape in our different ways. I don't need to name them. You know the ways that you escape. I know the ways that I escape. But life is not made to be pain-free. So if we can really soften into this and receive each moment as it comes, what actually begins to happen then is even in the pain, there's peace. There's love. There's truth. And you will find when you're in the frequency of peace, even in pain, love, even in pain, truth, even in pain, the warrior does begin to rise. And these experiences just continue to build and build and build on each other. And you realize you are more resilient than you think. You are stronger than you may have thought you were. And then let yourself feel those moments. Look at me. Crying and feeling sad and releasing all of this pain and really feeling that. And look at me actually moving through what is real. Facing the truth, not just numbing out. It's incredible. I think that's all that wants to come through today for this. I highly encourage you, under the light of this full moon this week, to really do some reflection on this and then find some way to just remind yourself of this daily. Maybe it's lighting a candle in the morning while you're getting ready in honor of your warrior spirit. Maybe it's lighting some incense and letting the fragrance fill your home in honor of the Libra fragrance air. But then when the opportunities actually arise this week to have conversations or to take action, starting from here, feeling the borders of your being, I am me. You are you. We are wrapped in unconditional love, no matter if we agree or disagree. Love is holding us. Love is making us happen. Can we actually soften and trust that? Many, many blessings this beautiful equinox. And as we all transition into more cold, into more of that fall, into some more of the transition into what is death, may we not resist it. May we embrace it. Much love. I'll see you soon.